Hello, I'm Brandon Martini, a commercial pilot and flight instructor.
And I'm Carson Vasquez. I'm a private pilot.
And you're listening to the Aviation Mentors podcast, sponsored by Stratus Financial.
So buckle up, because the Aviation Mentors are taking off.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Aviation Mentors podcast. I'm so sorry about no episodes last week. We were at the Fasana conference with Stratus, and it was so busy we didn't get a chance to record like we usually do. But us being busy is a really good thing, obviously, because we get to get funded to make more episodes like this. So make sure you go check out Stratus Financial's site. And if you're looking to build time or become a pilot, you got to definitely go check them out to see if they can help you finance your dreams. Today, though, we have a really awesome guest for the podcast. He's a great friend of mine. We've been friends for several years now. He's actually Damars's cousin, and we've got Joni Balan on the podcast with us today. Welcome, Joni.
What's up, guys?
Thanks for being on, Joni. I've known you for a couple years now, so it's kind of cool getting to watch everything that's happened with you. See you going from flying to now you're in the bigs. So I want to hear all about it. And the first thing we always ask is, how long have you been flying and how did you get into aviation?
It was actually 4 years on February 11th last month. So just over 4 years and a month now. I got into aviation. Mr. Martini there sitting right next to you. We went out for my birthday and he invited me out for a demo flight. And I was hooked, to say the least, from the second my hands touched the yoke. It's been my life mission from now on, from that second on,
By the way, we went out, we had Korean barbecue for his birthday. And then he was like, the next day I was like, oh, come on down. I'll take you flying. By the way, I offer a lot of people the chance to go up in an airplane. And believe it or not, hardly anybody ever takes me up on it. It's crazy how many people don't. Joni was different. He literally showed up at the airport at 9 a.m. the next day and was like, what are we going? When are we going? What are we flying? I'm so ready. And he did. He took that flight and literally his whole life transformed into an airplane guy. He went from a truck guy to an airplane guy overnight.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool to watch. And I remember going through all of the stuff myself, and I started off with, oh, you got to do a demo flight, and let's get one sign for my house, and let's get one little thing for my house. And then it turns into, I go into his house now and it's like airplane memorabilia all over.
Everywhere.
It's
my bar cart's a Delta push bar cart.
See? Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy. What was your first aviation job? What did you do to get to your ATP minimums, which we know is generally 1,500 hours?
Yeah, generally speaking, it's 1,500. There's some stips that'll let you in around 1,000 with some partnerships. But what I did is I built my time on my own. So I purchased my own aircraft, and I would just fly around just for any given reason. Do absolutely anything. Anybody want to fly? Let's go. We got food to go get. I mean, anything I can think of to build some time, I did. And it didn't take a lot of time. I mean, it took me, just over a year to get there. Maybe a year and a half to get to that 1,500 hour mark. My first job was SkyWest Airlines. I flew the ERJ there. And I loved that. I loved that job, and I loved the company. I thought it was a really great company. I just wanted bigger. I wanted more.
So how was it flying that ERJ?
ERJ is one of the most technologically advanced aircraft in the world right now, actually. It's a great aircraft. Super, super easy to fly. It does have its flaws, but absolutely fantastic aircraft.
Pretty cool. I don't know if you've listened to that last episode we did with Matt. I think he was the last airline pilot we've had on.
Yeah.
So, Matt got hired on by SkyWest and was flying the same plane. So it's super cool watching you guys both go on the same path. But how did you get there? What was it like getting hired by an airline?
Stressful, to say the least. Super stressful. So when I made the transition, it was the hiring frenzy had just started. But it wasn't how it is now. It was a little different. They were still really strict. My interview was about 4 hours, and it was just a grill interview. Preparing for the interview, I prepared months in advance. It took me months. There was a 43-page gouge about any question they could possibly ask me, and it went from as basic as tell me about a time questions to I want you to dissect a turbine engine for me and tell me what each blade does, and each phase of the compressor. So I mean anything that was on there, we went through.
So, it's obviously a lot of info you have to memorize and get ready for. But where do you find those kind of resources to prepare for the interview?
There's a whole bunch of stuff that we kind of go through. There's online is probably your best resource. I just went online, and whatever airline you're possibly getting a job at, there's different resources online. There's interview prep companies that are fantastic, and I strongly urge anybody in the transition there to focus towards or lean towards interview prep company.
Got it. Thank you. I mean, a lot of the listeners it's all their dream. For most people, getting to the airlines is the big goal.
Yeah.
So with those resources, did you have a favorite one that you spent most of your time on? And when you got to the interview, how much did it help?
So if you want to go for United, there is a specific interview company that focuses on United or American or wherever you want to go. You want to go FedEx, or there's companies that focus specifically on that. So you'd have to find whatever company is tailored towards the interview process that your specific airline is asking from you. They all want to see different things. Their company cultures are all different. They all know you can fly. You got 1,500 hours. That's not the question. They know you can fly. They just want to see that, one, you can fit in with their culture, can conform to kind of what they want you to.
Did you do a Zoom interview or did you do an in-person?
I've done both, actually. So with SkyWest, it was both. And same thing with my current airline was both.
Nice. So I kind of want to know the emotion behind it. So when you already did the Zoom interview, I'm sure that's nerve-wracking. We all get nervous when we're doing an interview and talking to somebody new, right? But walking into the building and like walking up and putting your name on, I don't know what you had to do, but what was it like walking into the building and like sitting down? Were you nervous as all hell? Like what was going through your mind?
Well, I always say dress to impress. First off, when you walk into something like this, you get one chance at a first impression, and they will take that one chance from you. And you walk into the building, and it's just a huge, massive building, and you're walking in with the first thing you see is all of your competition. I mean, everyone's there for that one job, and half of you get it, half of you won't. So, I mean, yeah, nerve-wracking to say the least. I mean, as pilots, you're trained to do well under pressure. So that's also kind of why they structure it this way, I guess.
How long was the interview?
Technical side of it, there's a few parts. There's an HR side of it and a technical side of it. HR side of it wasn't too bad. It was about an hour and a half. Technical side could range upwards of 3 hours.
So it's kind of like a check ride. I mean, you're sitting there with one or two people like grilling you for 3 hours.
Correct. So the technical side of it, my current airline, we had 2 current line pilots, captain and an FO, senior captain, senior FO, and a retired captain, that all had, through their experiences out there, what they've personally seen on the line. And the technical side of it was they want to see how I would have reacted to their questions that they asked.
Nice. Onto kind of another question and going in a different direction now. I know that you flew GA a lot. You really love GA. I know you built all your hours in that 340 that we've had a lot of fun in, going to Oshkosh, and we can tell some stories about the Oshkosh trip too.
Oh yeah.
That was an interesting one, especially coming back at 18,000 feet at IFR. We'll just save that for another episode for sure. But so you've flown a lot of GA stuff. I've flown a lot of GA stuff with you. What's it like? I know you still fly a little bit of GA. What's it like going from GA to airline and kind of going back and forth? I know that you mentioned the other night when we were chatting,
yeah,
the flare's a little higher and your current metal that you're flying.
Yeah.
So that's got to be a little interesting.
Yeah. So every time I come back into GA, it kind of scares me a little bit every time I fly GA now. And I used to not have this fear of propellers. I mean, I thought it was a joke when everyone's like, no, I don't fly those things with those, twirly things on the front of the engines. I thought it was a joke. And I just now realize how truly safe the well-maintained planes are, and how unsafe the unmaintained planes are.
Yeah, I guess that's the difference when you have an airline doing all that maintenance that has to be so strict, as opposed to, just kind of hoping for the best that everyone follows the rules, which most people do, but yeah, certainly there's people that don't, and it's a whole another world of safety with an airline.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that's something that's regulated way more heavily than everything in GA.
Yeah, I know the difference in maintenance policies from just the backyard A&P mechanic, which I would never trust, to somebody who's well trusted, like Rich at Kavu, to what the maintenance shops do at airlines. I mean, I've seen the quality of people in all three places, and they're vastly different everywhere. So, yeah, I totally get it. So, what are you flying now? I know we've mentioned an airplane before. How did you get to fly it, and how much are you enjoying it?
So I fly the 747 now. I'm a first officer. I absolutely love it. I've always wanted to get international flying experience. Been through every continent now except for Antarctica. I've experienced. I mean, the experience I've gained in this last 8 months of flying the line is, I mean, absolutely tremendous. I mean, it's a fantastic aircraft. I mean, it broke my heart when the last one rolled off the assembly line. It is an icon in the industry. I mean, it's the most iconic aircraft ever made. I mean, you can go anywhere in the world right now and you show them a picture and they're going to be like, that's a 747. The first time I walked up to it, you don't really comprehend how massive this aircraft is until you come up to it and you're 5 feet from it and you have to bend your neck all the way up to look at the top of it. The size of the rudder is the wingspan of a CRJ 200, so it is massive aircraft. But when you're sitting in the cockpit, it feels like a 172. It flies like a 172. An aircraft is an aircraft.
Yeah, that's what I always say. An airplane's an airplane.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna fly. You've got air going over the wings. It's gonna be flying. Airplane's an airplane. Maybe the systems behind it might be a little bit more complex, but airplane's an airplane. But I have a short story. I was with Rich doing a pre-buy up north in Washington. Him and I were going up there to buy a little Cherokee 160, and I ended up getting the airplane. But we went up there and we were there for like 3 days. And the weather wasn't great. We couldn't do certain things. We wanted to fly back. We couldn't. So we went to go look around. So we went to we did a Boeing factory tour and we got to see 747s there.
Yeah, right.
There was a couple other cool airplanes we saw. I don't remember which models we saw, but it was fantastic. And then we even saw them when they weren't even completed, in process of completion, and then no paint even on them, which I thought that was kind of neat. You see a bunch of giant airplanes at this little airport with no paint on them. Obviously, they have no interiors. They have no anything. So it's pretty cool. But that 747 is definitely iconic. You're right. You can show it to anybody in the world and they'd be like, wow, that's the queen of the sky, which is fantastic. My goal has never been to fly one because I like my little airplanes. I know, Johnny, you think I'm crazy, but I like my little airplanes that make me feel like I'm on the edge of my seat a little bit in life. There's too much redundancies in 747s. They're too safe. I want to be at the control of my own destiny, right? No, I'm just kidding. But I definitely want to just fly in the back of one day. I mean, I want first class in the back of a 747 flying to like Dubai. Like that would be kind of a cool moment for me. I want to do that.
There's only a few airlines that still fly it. Your best bet's Germany. I think Lufthansa still flies the 800, and they have a fantastic first class. Let me tell you.
Oh, I'm sure. And you know what? I would even go for an A380, and I think I'd be pretty happy with that too. There's still several of those flying around, but I think they discontinued making those too.
They stopped making those too.
Yeah, these giant airplanes are just not what they used to be. I think probably in terms of fuel efficiency now, probably not the best.
Fuel efficiency is what the 777 and 787s kind of took over the market.
I have to say, though, I've flown in the 777 and flying in that 777 is a beautiful airplane, at least in the back of it, that's for sure. So, well, Johnny, thank you so much for being on with us. We had a great time talking with you and asking you a ton of questions today. And I absolutely loved hearing your perspective. And I know we've already talked, and we're going to have you on the podcast again pretty soon. We're going to talk about some in-depth interview questions, which will be pretty fun. So everybody can kind of keep an eye out for that. We should do that within the next month or so. And it'll be a great time.
Yeah, thanks for being on with us, Johnny. Super cool just hearing about your story, going from pretty much a demo flight to 747 pilot in 4 years. It's awesome. I know you've always been goal oriented. You have to be able to get to where you are in such a short time. So I think that short journey to get to such an awesome position, it's inspirational to at least a lot of entrepreneurs and people that are self-starters. So especially people consider a career change like you went through, which is super common. A lot of pilots do that. and it's an awesome journey to watch. So thanks for being on with us. Excited to talk to you again soon.
All right, my pleasure, man. I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks so much. And as always, if you'd like to reach out to either one of us, you can reach us at Twitter or Instagram. For me, it's at Mr. Martini Guy, or for Carson, it's at Carson_AV17. You can reach us also, and some of you have, so thank you guys for reaching out to us by email recently. You can reach me at Brandon@aviationmentors.com or Carson@aviationmentors.com.
And as a wrap up for the day, remember, we're here to guide you in your aviation journey. So fly safe and enjoy the ride.
See ya.